So I am delighted to join you today for this Senate Liaison Committee retreat and that focuses on the important theme of building synergies and exploring interlinkages for effective and efficient operations of Senate committees. Let me appreciate the leadership and members of the Senate, led by the Deputy Speaker, Kathuri Murungi, who is also the chair of the Senate Liaison Committee, for convening this important retreat. I also acknowledge Uasin Gishu County Senator Jackson Mandago, who is hosting us in this beautiful breadbasket of the county that is also the home of our international athletes champions. You call them Mabingwa, is it Bingwa? Not Mashujaa. But I suppose a Bingwa eventually mutates into a Shujaa. We are gathered here to discuss how the executive and legislature can enhance their relations, creating an enabling environment for the Senate and its committees to deliver on the promise of enhancing service delivery to Kenyans at all levels. It is a worthy and timely occasion to assess the strides we have made and explore ways of cementing the interlinkages between these two arms of government. Honorable members, ladies and gentlemen, we are in a new facet of parliamentary business, and the interrelationship between the legislature and the executive is central to the delivery of our government's bottom-up transformation agenda. This does not in any way imply that the two branches of government have not been working together and collaborating on matters of national interest. What is new, though, is the constitutional architecture under which the two arms of government exist, and in particular, the redefined independence of the two arms, the questions and statements framework, and the Constitution of Kenya 2010, and the House standing orders. For the first time in the history of Kenya, we now have a State Department for Parliamentary Affairs under my office that is mandated to coordinate the implementation of the national government's legislative agenda across all ministries and state departments in consultation with and for transmission to the party coalition leadership in Parliament. Our greatest appreciation to His Excellency the President, William Ruto, for establishing this unique structure to promote the institutional linkages between the executive and both houses of Parliament. This State Department is not just unique here in Kenya, but among the first of its kind in Africa. Furthermore, the President presented us with an excellent takeoff through the Presidential Memorandum to Parliament dated 9th December 2022. The purpose of the memorandum, as you will recall, was to initiate a collaborative exploration of existing opportunities to enrich Kenya's democratic experience by enhancing institutional capacities, strengthening complementary and inter-relationships, and refining of mandates in order to realize the full appreciation of Kenyans as required in the Constitution. In the memorandum, His Excellency the President urged Parliament to consider implementing mechanisms within the standing orders to facilitate the participation of cabinet secretaries in parliamentary proceedings, particularly by responding to questions raised by senators. This embodied the government's better commitment to promote accountability and openness in the management of public affairs. Let me quote the President. The executive has a vested interest in engaging productively with Parliament because the legislature is the custodian of critical instruments that are indispensable for the functioning of government. There is a profound value in prosecuting the executive's legislature agenda and elaborating government policy from the floor of the House as opposed to segmented committee engagements." End of quote. The President observed that the executive participation in parliamentary business improves transparency of public proceedings, thus helping to close the information gap and enhance trust between citizens and government. Subsequently to this memorandum, amendments were introduced to the standing orders of both houses of Parliament. The amended standing orders of the Senate allow cabinet secretaries to appear before the plenary of the House to respond to questions raised by members. The standing orders outline the framework for the parliamentary questions and statements, encompassing response, procedures, timelines, notifications, and consequences for non-appearance. The amendments were followed through by various proactive steps by the Senate aimed at ensuring adequate notice by the executive of upcoming questions. As part of these proactive steps, the clerk of the Senate has been dispatching notices regarding the scheduling of parliamentary questions to respective cabinet secretaries. In addition, Parliament has leveraged on technology through the publication on its website of tentative lists of cabinet secretaries set to address plenary on various questions raised by members. This process has ensured effective communication with the relevant parliamentary liaison officers, a space where the executive has reduced time and space that had hitherto hampered turnaround times in the execution of government business. The importance of parliamentary questioning is paramount in advancing good governance, transparent leadership, and the retention of public trust. This oversight function of Parliament is a cornerstone of democracy, providing a means to hold the executive accountable for its actions and ensuring alignment with legislated business and aspirations of the people of Kenya. A robust oversight of the executive by Parliament is a testament to good governance. Beyond its legislative role, oversight empowers Parliament to maintain a balance of power and uphold its role as the guardian of the people's interests. I therefore find the rationale that informs the President's call for our complementary interrelationships applicable, not only for plenary business, but also to committee business. Through the liaison of the Executive and Parliament, my office has, amongst other things, rejuvenated the parliamentary liaison service in all the ministries and MDAs, that is ministries, departments, and agencies, to ensure efficient and effective day-to-day dispatch of business mutual to both arms of government. I am pleased to report that through this revitalization and in furtherance to our quest to enrich the interlinkages between these critical arms of government, my office has developed a liaison framework that seeks to anchor and augment the contemporary liaison relationship between the two arms of government. This framework codifies the basic elements of liaison between the officers from both arms of government for effective and efficient operations in the House. The liaison framework has been crafted to forge an efficient coordination mechanism that is paramount in fostering effective relationship between the two arms of government. Once it's fully operationalized, the framework is designed to ensure a seamless relationship in the discharge of government business in Parliament. In building synergies and exploring interlinkages between Senate and committees and the Executive, the Liaison Committee framework provides an effective mechanism to ensure appearances of cabinet secretaries, principal secretaries, and other senior ranks of the Executive. Furthermore, the framework shall provide a clear guideline on timely responses from the Executive with respect to questions or inquiries from standing committees of the Senate. The framework also provides a transparent and accountable follow-up mechanism on the implementation of parliamentary resolutions and national executive undertakings to Parliament. This is informed by the fact that the implementation of parliamentary resolutions and our undertakings as the executive embody the essence of transparent and open engagements between the two arms of government. It is important to note that MDAs have designated various serving officers as parliamentary liaison officers who have demonstrated selfless and steadfast commitment to timely responsiveness of the MDAs to parliamentary business. In addition to playing a facilitative role in the day-to-day business between Parliament and the Executive, these liaison officers have also demonstrated their crucial role in the day-to-day business within the Executive. I enjoyed the services of these officers when I recently appeared before the Senate Standing Committee on Delegated Legislation, where we had rich engagement regarding the staged expiry of statutory instruments pursuant to Section 21 of the Statutory Instruments Act. Together with the relevant technical officers in the MDAs, the liaison officers have followed up that engagement, been critical in coordinating the identification, audit, and evaluation of statutory instruments critical to their dockets that require urgent intervention. I am aware also that this matter is actively before our courts and judgment is due on 26th of June. We shall await the court's decision and direction to chart the way forward. Additionally, in embracing and recognizing the critical role of technology in improving the turnaround in dispatch of government business, the State Department of Parliamentary Affairs is spearheading the establishment of a legislative agenda tracking information system, in short, LATIS,